Hello everybody, and welcome to today's stream. It's just going to be a little more laddering, trying to rank up some more, see what we can get out of this season. Hasn't been a bad season by my standards so far, although I'd still like to be improving a bit more before we go into the standard format existing. There we go, just updating this stream title. And yeah, let's get to it, shall we? Thankfully, most of this allergy crap is gone, so I shouldn't be sniffling quite so much. And yeah, let's just get into it. Alright, this opener is not what we like to call good against a deck like Hunter. I don't mind the Zombie Chow or the Coil, but I do mind the Draxus and the Corruptor. These are not what I call early action. They're going to get me killed. Okay, so this is a perfectly viable hand, assuming I see a dragon at some point for the Twilight Guardian. We need that guy to get his synergies going. Just adjust this webcam a little bit. Alright, so that Worgen Infiltrator is going to be a right pain in the ass, potentially. Except for the part where we've got the Coil in hand and the Chow, so frankly we don't care that much. I mean, I guess this is just some sort of face Hunter type deck, which kind of what we expected anyways, given that Hunter. They're not that likely to be playing some sort of mid-range or control shell. I'm curious what's making this decision take so long. Play Zuka, alright. I'm surprised he's not popping his stealth there. He must have a couple more pumps available, but this is just a very odd opening out of him. I guess he's just planning to kill my zombie after a couple of beats or something. There we go, so quick shot. He just didn't want to get it killed. Sure. I mean, I don't much care how he does it. I think we're just going to coin out this Twilight Guardian since we've got the Azure Drake to trigger it. Ship the turn back. He's got to blow basically his entire board state or a card and like some combination of multiple cards to get past just my Twilight Guardian.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Alright. Yeah, so looks like he's punching with the Worgen. This is fine. Right now we've got a pretty straightforward turn of just coiling off the Worgen. Draw a card. I'm not going to bolt here, especially with Healbot in hand. There's no real point in bolting off this Abusive Sergeant when I've got the Healbot next turn. I don't care that much.
To my side.
Okay, Liak on the other hand, that's worth a bolt, so it doesn't look like we're going to be dropping the Healbot this turn. We could end up dead to a kill command out of nowhere, but he has to have Beast kill command as 2 of his 3 cards. Alright. I assume that's freezing. Could be explosive, which would also be very, very bad, but alright. So here we just run out the Healbot real fast, recover a little life, and quickly start taking over the board. I'm hoping that's Freezing Trap because that gets really good with this heal bot we've got in hand. Like, if that's Freezing Trap, he's very much regretting it. So, yeah. Okay, so he's got a little bit of damage available right now. But we're not dead. We're going to hope for Freezing Trap. I mean, if it's not Freezing Trap, I feel like we're dead, so it's explosive. That is very bad because we don't have another heal and he's got steady shot. So yeah, that's just game. Happens. Not much we can do here. I mean, I think we were in that with one or two more turns. He just got off to a just barely fast enough start to get past the attrition, and it happens. Reno would have been real good at some point in that hand, but we never saw him, so we never got that massive heal. And Healbot just wasn't quite enough. Excuse me. Ugh. Alright, next opponent is... Alright. Warlock versus Warlock, and we've got a couple pieces of removal in hand, which is not bad, given that it's probably Zoo, and if it's not Zoo, we don't care what our opening hand looks like. So, like, if he's hand lock or Reno lock, the opening hand that we keep does not matter in the slightest. And if he's Zoo, this is about perfect. So, yeah, we just ship it back and see what he's up to. I mean, if he's Zoo, he has a play this turn. If he passes it back, then he's probably some sort of hand lock variant, maybe demon lock, but I haven't seen a lot of that recently, at least at this portion of the ladder. I feel like people who have, I don't know, I just haven't been seeing it, but yeah, it's just Zoo. So we're going to draw a card, we're going to let him start running stuff into us, we're going to be ready to Hellfire on 4. We've got this Shadow Bolt to chill something out if he gets a little bit crazy. Alright. Yeah, he's just trying to curve out on our face and make us pay for life tapping right now, which is exactly what he should be doing. It's just not that interesting. Our hand is not particularly exciting, so as usual, we're just going to draw a card. We're going to let him beat the hell out of us. We're going to hope he has something interesting to do this turn that doesn't involve dudes that are too big to kill with Hellfire. Okay.
Mind if I roll need?
So we're in a great place here with Hellfire. I mean, granted, he's still got plenty of cards in hand, but we don't care too much about them overall. Just because we're getting 4-for-1 value off it. Granted, we're at 15, he's at 27, but now we're getting into the part of the game where all of our cards are worth several times more than his are, so it's not too big of a problem, most likely. Alright, a Shredder here is definitely going to eat a Bolt. We'd rather not deal with both halves of that thing right now. Undercity Valiant is cute there for him since it's got decent power toughness. So we'll run out this Ooze just to have something on the board. And assuming he keeps going to the face... Okay. So he's going to the face. And we're going to hope he doesn't have lethal this turn off of some sort of charge, double power overwhelming or something. We've still got the heal bot in hand. We've got Tharisian. Okay, so this is a good turn to just run out the heal bot or the Tharisian because he has to clear up a Tharisian unless he has like double power overwhelming or power overwhelming soulfire or something like that. But if he has something absurd like that, I feel like we're probably just toast either way. I don't know. Healbot gets us out of range of a lot of it. But I really, really, really like Thaurissan into a relatively dead board, where he has to spend a lot of resources clearing it up, so hopefully we don't die. We might, but we're up against an aggro deck, so that happens.
Well played.
Alright, so apparently he's got the Power Overwhelming and or Soulfire in hand. All good. Sure. Double Power Overwhelming. But yeah, I mean, we take 12 here, even if we were at 18 instead of 10. With a 3-3 on board, we're still dead. So, it's not like we cost ourselves anything by going with the line of play that gave us potential outs if we didn't die that turn. But, yeah, because the heal bot on its own is not actually saving us from anything there. It's just padding our life total against a lethal without giving us a way to really kill him anyways. Like, I don't feel like we're actually in a better place by gaining 8 life. So, I still make that play every time just because it's the one that wins if we have outs to begin with. Shadow Flame's not that exciting against a Druid. We'll keep the Technician just because it's got decent stats if we have a Dragon in hand. And we like... Okay, so we'll take a Giant happily. And we're just going to draw some cards and play out a Giant on turn 4. Pretend we're handlock. Because we really like 8/8s for 4. I hear they're pretty good. Especially when we've got all the cards ever in hand. Aspirant? No, Wild Growth. Interesting. So he's coining out a Wild Growth. That probably means he has another Wild Growth in hand, and he just wants to start ramping hard fast. Not guaranteed, but it's likely he has more ramp in hand than just the Wild Growth we already saw. And he's just trying to really get out the gates on us. Yeah, Aspirant. I figured it was one of the two. Just because he needs to get something going against this deck. And he knows it as well as I do, because I virtually ramp. Well, he literally ramps, so. Here we just run out our Giant, as planned. Run out our 8/8 for 4 on curve. Well, not really curving out, because we haven't done anything, but we've drawn a lot of cards. And now we've got all sorts of cards in hand, and we like cards. And now he's trading off his entire board. Okay, a Zap-O-Matic. Well, that's problematic, to say the least, but... this turn, if we need to, we can... Okay, cool. So we can Technician and Taunt it off our Sun Fury, which cock-blocks the Zap-O-Matic pretty efficiently. Because we'd really rather not just get the shit kicked out of us, unless he's got Mark of the Wild in hand, in which case we are so fucked. Well, not really. It's just that we're going to burn way too many cards at that point, dealing with it.
I must
Okay, cool. So he's just got the Silence, which means he's just trying to go... Interesting. So he's just going to trade it off. That means he didn't have any kind of pumps available.
A natural mistake.
But I'm totally fine with that. He's trading a Silence and a good body for that. Like, I don't feel like I'm coming out behind in that trade, especially since now I've got a great board state for dropping Thaurissan on him. And my entire hand just got cheaper, and he needs to have either Swipe or the other Wrath to deal with this Thaurissan on board without hitting it with his face. Okay, so there's the other Wrath. Perfectly acceptable. We've still got plenty of value with this grip. And next turn, we're just going to boom. I don't hate just running out Boom, Swampu's Chow, just to have some very serious amounts of power on the board. Go ahead and run that in there. It's not doing us any good on the board. He's got to burn some amount of resources to deal with Boom himself. And those resources might just include swinging his Ancient. Well, at that point, I don't think he's going... Yeah, he has to, because he can't let me trade off those two. Alright. I don't think we're dead this turn, which means that force is defensive. But he's doing it in the wrong order? Because now he can't even... He's not even killing Boom off. Which seems probably wrong. Seeing as Boom lives through this, and now I can Nefarian. Granted, he didn't know that part. I don't think I'm going to be using this Naturalize anytime soon, but that Recycle, we're happy to take. 15 power on board. Opponent needs multiple cards to deal with that. Opponent has a nearly empty hand. Alright, so he's killing Boom. He's still in a rather lousy place to deal with this Nefarian. And now we have Reno in hand as well. Let's just go to 30, though. Because, yeah, we'll go to 30. We'll draw a card, because who cares? Let's draw cards, shall we? And let's punch him in the face for a lot. I mean, at this point, we've got the card advantage, we've got the board advantage. He's going to need something impressive to deal with what we have going on here. Alright, Shadow Bolt deals quite nicely with this Drake. I kind of like just Defendering to make this 13 damage this turn, but on the other hand, I like drawing a card first. Okay, so scratch that. We're not Defendering because we're dropping a Drake. Keep our card advantage stream running. That way we protect our Defender of Argus. I mean, this Shade of Naxxramas does not impress me at this point. Like, let's face it. It's not interesting in this moment. He's having to drop Ancient of Lore to restore health. And I assume he's... Okay, yeah, he's in a world of hurt at this point. If he's Finleying into a heal. Let's see, we've got... If we Defender, that is 9, 14... and 18. Have we just got lethal? We just got lethal.
My shield for Argus.
So, let's just kill him. Because I like dead opponents more than I like live opponents. I don't think he was expecting to die from 19. In that particular situation, but we were just so far ahead at that point. It was inevitable either way, likely, but, you know, never give them time if you have the out. And yeah, we'll just queue back up. Keep it rolling.
Gul'dan versus Uther. I will fight with honor.
Alright, so here,
Soul shall be mine.
against a Paladin, I don't hate this hand. I don't like it, but I don't hate it. So I think I'm going to toss back the Belcher and see if I can get something better. But alright, so now we've got a fairly organic curve after 2 mana at least. Okay, this is just gas. We've got a coil for any early 1 toughness guys, which do not include Finley, but whatever. So next turn, we're just going to tap. Turn 3, we're going to drop this Technician. Murlocs suck, but not much we can do about it. I really hate this matchup. It's hard to stay high enough health to live against them. Because they can just blow you up in the late game. Assuming you let it go late game. That's the key. Just keep pressure on it all points in time. As much as is physically possible. make them deal with stuff.
I wonder.
Okay, so Bluegill Warrior here, yeah, he's just trying to get aggressive, chip away at our life total some, which is perfectly fine. Now we can either drop the Technician and let him get in more chip damage, or we can cycle our coil on his Bluegill, which I actually like a little. I don't know, I like the board pressure though. And I want him to have to drop his bigger guys to deal with my board. So having a 3-5 and next turn a 3-6 taunt is probably the better bet. I mean, if he burns his board dealing with that, we're fine with it. This turn we can... I think we just coil here. Cycle.
Oh, bother.
We're not going to run out Chow because it doesn't do us any good whatsoever. We'll draw a card. Next turn we have Implosion or the Taunt. Because if we can taunt Zombie Chow, we're in a much better place than any other option. Okay, Murkai here is a real problem. The only good news is we might not be dead yet. And that's the best thing I can say is we might not be dead yet. I hate playing against the Murloc deck because its inconsistency almost plays to its advantage because it's so aggressive. You have... Oh, we are so fucked. So, anyways, we're fucked. I mean, we could Shadow Flame the War Leader. Or not Shadow Flame, Siphon the War Leader. Let's see what that does for 10, 14, 17. Yeah, we're just dead.
You win this time.
Welcome to Murloc Paladin. I hate that deck. With a Burning Passion. You can't expect any specific start out of it. Like, sometimes they have this super fast thing. Sometimes they're trying to play a control-y strategy and just combo you out in the late game. There's no real telling which one's going to happen. The deck is fairly strong. A little bit inconsistent, but that makes it more reliable almost because there is no correct mulligan against it.
Your soul shall be mine.
A couple pieces of decent removal, especially like Implosion here. We're going to toss back the Corruptor. Coil is good here, especially if they run out Living Roots on one. I mean, Living Roots just does not approve of being coiled, so yeah. And if all he does is ramp hard, then we just draw cards until we can Giant. So this hand is about ideal against him. Just because we've got an answer to most of the we've got things that do things against most of the things he wants to do. Because that sentence could have made less sense. Dragon Egg. We do not give a flying fuck about a Dragon Egg in the slightest. So, let's draw a card. However, this probably means we're up against some sort of weird-ass dragon strategy. Maybe-ish? I don't know. I actually don't know what I'm up against right now. I also don't care much. Possibly some sort of token strategy. Or some sort of weird-ass aggro thing. I guess. Weird-ass aggro things do happen. I've given up on trying to predict certain types of decks. And when I see a Dragon Egg on one out of a Druid, I'm not making too many wild guesses. I'm just going to stick to a plan of trying to attrition them out at that point. I've got this Reno in hand, so I don't care too much about these chip shots. Like, he whittles me down a little bit. I get down to, say, 15 or so. Great! That just means I can Reno myself out of combo range. And he's just going to keep taking shots at me. Which only makes my removal stronger. At this point, I assume he might very well just be planning to force pretty soon, which mostly makes me want to bolt a thing and dark bomb a thing. So let's start with a bolt on that thing.
The mana.
Then let's run a dark bomb into that. And then let's punch this. Then we'll ship the turn back. Now he's got to worry about my board state. He can't just roar and kill me. I mean, it seems like he just really wants to roar and kill me at some point in the very near future. Yeah. He's definitely just looking for an early roar of nature. And since he's taken exactly 0 damage at this point, I'm definitely just going to run out a Chow into a Defender and keep tickling his board. Of course we hit the Doomsayer. But that probably favors me because I have Reno. I should have done that first instead of being an idiot. He does have these guys, but I don't think I'm dead this turn, unless he's got a double Savage Roar or something. I mean, we'll find out if I'm dead this turn, I guess. That's a lot of dudes. And it's still not that many dudes with 1 butts, which is a problem. Go ahead and cycle that off. Drop this Belcher. Ship it back, hope we don't die. Because we could die to a Silence in some sort of pump spell. But I feel like we need to burn a couple more resources out of his hand before we drop Reno. We need to be at something resembling parity on board so that we don't just get blown right back to where we are and still have no board presence. Like, it's crucial to remember that just dropping Reno with nothing else going on does not actually mean you've won the game. It just means you've given them a bunch more opportunities to punch you in the face. Sometimes you have to take the slightly less safe line just to ensure that you have outs to them having cards that do things. Because if he has things that do things and I drop Reno onto that board without this Belcher here, I'm still just dead. I didn't do myself any favors. Because I have no board presence, no taunt, and I end up right back at this life total without a Reno. And that's bad. Right now, he has to run some resources into this. And I feel like that's a lot better. Like the fact that he spent some bodies in a card, killing that puts me way ahead of where I would be otherwise. So here we're going to draw a card, Reno up, and now he has 4 damage on board without some sort of roar type deal, which is much better than we had a couple of turns ago when he had like 7 power on board without some sort of roar type deal, which was easily enough to put us stupidly low again. We've also got this heal bot now. We've got some good attrition-y cards. This Implosion's probably going to do us a load of good sometime in the near future, like when we shoot this Voidwalker with it.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
And it looks like he's now trying to clear up the board. Nope. He wants the dome. Got it. I'm good with it. I mean, I'm not good with it, but this is why we didn't just want to Reno into a developed board. This is exactly what we were talking about a couple of turns ago. We'd just be dead now. So here we're going to be running out Healbot and Implosion. This Implosion is going to this clown at this point. Reno runs into the Voidwalker. Sorry about the coughing, by the way. Allergies are just still a little bit rough. Not as bad as they were before, but Alright, and now we actually have the board advantage for the first time this game. All because we took a slightly less safe line of play a couple of turns ago and didn't just give him the opportunity to kill us outright. Granted, we're one swipe away from being behind on board, but at least we're doing things. We still got this heal bot. We're going to trade this heal bot for one of his spectral spiders sometime in the near future. We're also probably going to drop some cards. We're going to silence his Haunted Creeper, I assume, because he has nothing going on that we care about much. So we're probably going to silence that, kill that. And now we can kill two things, which is just glorious.
Wield the power.
And finally, we've got a board state where we're comfortable. We're comfortably ahead on board. Granted, we could still potentially die to a Force Roar. Or, no, not just Force Roar. It would take a little more than that. But we're still in a slightly iffy spot because we are up against a Druid. And they've always got ways to just kill us. But since we can't actually do anything about him trying to just kill us, we're going to ignore that possibility completely. Alright. So here, we're going to drop Tharisian. We're going to protect her here. Go ahead and clean up the board. Just so he doesn't have anything in play to additionally pump with a Force Roar type thing. And now we're probably golden. We've got 15 power on board. We've got Nefarian. I mean, granted, this Twilight Drake is shit right now. Yeah, but there we go. And that's everything taken over and ground out. Just sort of pure attrition. And now after this game, we're going to take a quick break because we survive on Cancer and Spite. So, yeah. Cigarette time. I will be back momentarily. And we are back for more games. Let's see if we can't get some more wins picked up. I don't know if it's going to be a super long stream today, just because while I'm not sniffling quite as much as I was before, these allergies are still kind of driving me nuts. And if you can't tell by the coughing incessantly, talking is a little tricky right now. I'm going to stay on as much as I can.
Shall be mine.
Another paladin. Toss all this back. We're looking for early interaction. I don't like it, but it's better than nothing. This isn't a good hand against Murlocs by any stretch of the imagination, but we're going to do what we can. And if it's not Murlocs, then we don't mind. Okay. Mech Paladin of some variety. Here we're just going to go ahead and run out this Chow. Next turn we can draw a card and still be on curve for the Mountain Giant, which is what it looks like we want to be doing. The advantage of being on the draw with the Mountain Giant is that you can play a card without screwing yourself up. So that's very useful. Go ahead and punch his Mech Warper once, just to prep it and make him do something, make him interact with our Zombie Chow. Okay, that is a Taunt Divine Shield Mech Warper. Fascinating. So we're definitely just running out our Giant here. Or we could run out our Drake, but I think I like our Giant better. Just because he really wants to interact with that Mountain Giant. He doesn't want to risk me taunting it up next turn. Like if I had Sun Fury and a Silent Watcher, which he can't know I don't have, then he's in a very bad place next turn. I don't know that he'll clean it up. Interesting. I mean, granted, I'm pretty low right now. On the other hand, I've got Reno in hand. And the coin. Which means, quite frankly, I'm perfectly happy healing fully, punching this. Granted, I don't get to deal with his Yeti yet, but we're back to 30. He's got way fewer resources, and we're in a much stronger position as far as the board is concerned. I could have Shadow Flamed that turn, but it seemed a little iffy. Alright, so he's cleaning us up real fast. That's alright. We've got options for a Shadow Flame, especially now that he did that. We're probably just going to go ahead and... Oh yeah, we're going to Swamp Ooze Shadow Flame. Because we thoroughly approve of a dead board in this matchup. Next turn, we've got Dr. Boom in hand. I hear Dr. Boom is a pretty strong card, so yeah. And he just had to drop a Gorilla Bot without getting the Discover trigger, which is glorious. Okay, on second thought. What do we run out? We can run out Tharisian, which, if that's a Repentance, which is plausible, we don't mind. Okay, not Repentance. We could taunt it up, but that seems bad since he's got real potential of a Blade in hand. On the other hand, yeah, let's just go ahead and taunt it. What's the worst that happens? I mean, it's going to die this turn anyways. We know that. And this way, he at least has to kill it.
Put your faith in the
Okay,
light.
so now we're in trouble for using the Swamp Ooze the way we did, but we kind of had to. The good news is we can do some combination of... We could get our own Tyrion, which doesn't seem half bad. Except we might just want our own, or a second Tharisian. A second taunted Tharisian seems really good here. We could Drake and siphon his Tyrion. Which is also not bad. It's not ideal, but I think it's probably correct anyways. Just because it prevents him getting nearly full value off of it. Avenge. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and kill his Gorilla Bot with our Tharisian. Ship the turn back. And now we've got real options available for next turn, which include I don't know, we could potentially Jiraxis and Faceless our Drake, which doesn't seem half bad. Except we don't want to Jiraxis just yet. We're certainly going to... Okay. So that answers that question. We're going to Drake... Implosion. Dark Bomb. Clear off this shield. And now our opponent is worried about our board, not vice versa, which is exactly what we want. We've got a glorious Belcher Boom turn next turn, which seems plenty strong to me.
Reporting for duty.
Alright, so most likely, yeah, he's going to kill off our Drake, probably kill off our other Drake too, just for good measure. Yeah, okay. And that gives us a stupidly good turn, especially with that Consecration blow. Because I'm pretty sure he didn't want us to drop a Boombot and a Belcher on the same turn. Most people don't.
Reporting for duty.
That's pretty much the entire Ashbringer. That should be the entire Ashbringer burned off without actually punching us in the face once. And he's still just throwing resources at everything we've done. Choma is great here, especially since we don't actually have a dragon in hand. Which sounds crazy, but frankly, we're much more interested in... Alright, just cleaning up the board some. I don't actually feel like I care at all about facelessing something right now. I've got 13 power. He's got no real outs unless he's got Equality Consecrate in hand, and even that just isn't exciting here. Especially when I've got a Healbot, a Jiraxis, a Faceless. Like, I have board control, I can draw cards. I doubt we lose. Plain and simple. Alright, yeah. I'm going to have to cut today short just because the whole continuing to breathe thing is starting to get a little tricky as far as my throat is concerned, and I'd rather not have I'd rather not be up all night coughing yet again. So this will be the last game. Sorry for the short stream today, but I just, yeah, I want to be able to sleep tonight, unlike last night. So looks like my opponent's just sort of given up on life at this point.
Let me think.
Not that I blame him. I'm used to getting some rage quits with this deck, just because it does some stupid, unnecessary shit. And I mean, that's kind of all she wrote. There we go. That's it. Alright, well, thanks for watching today, and we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with the ability to actually stream halfway decently as far as talking without feeling like we're dying in the process. So, yeah.